Today we're checking out Vinland Saga Season 2 trailer,
So come and join the ride with us here in
The Passenger Seat. Yo, welcome back everybody to another week in the passenger seat. We're back at it again with another reaction. This time, Vinland Saga Season 2. I already saw the trailer. I know. I get too hasty and I watch these things and then I think, oh, this would be great to react to. And then, so we end up with these...
Sometimes I do the same, but I'm sorry.
Nah, that happens. Alright, so hopefully you've been enjoying our past videos. We really enjoy all of your interactions, all of your support. So as always, we're going to hop right into it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. You know how we do.
What?
聖なるトルフィン、今日からお前たちは友人だ。この土地を買い込み、運用し収穫を上げろ。
ああ、俺北イングランドの生まれなんだ。君は？
アイスランド。なあトルフィン君、俺たち戦士の扱う商品って何だと思う？死だ。死にたくないから生きてるんですか？生きてると何かいいことはありますか？
お前は
Okay, so here we are.
I want to first come off and say, I know we're reacting to this, guys, but I gotta admit, I only saw like the first, 3 episodes or 4. I've never continued the first season, so I feel like I should give my opinion first since you've seen it. I noticed something about this anime that makes me feel like, as much as people want to see it and be like, oh, it's an action anime, I also feel like it's like a slice of life because it's so real. Like, I'm not gonna say it's based on actual events, but there's nothing fantasy about it, at least so far. So I feel like it's very like realistic and like what people went through those times and the way they were treated and the way the Vikings fought. So I like the way they do the historical accuracy because I feel like it's sort of like that type of slice of life where it's real instead of being fantasy. And the animation's incredible too. But story-wise, I actually don't know much what's going on in the trailer. So,
Okay.
but it looks good.
Okay, so I'm going to touch upon a couple of things that you mentioned just because, I've seen the first season and I thought it was funny, a couple of things you mentioned. The first thing is the animation. I'm gonna touch that first. So you saw that it's Mappa who's making the anime, and Mappa is renowned for being a great animation studio. Of course, the most recent one that they've had is Chainsaw Man. The second thing I want to touch up on is what you're saying about this being sort of like a slice of life. I wouldn't call it a slice of life. I'd call it more like historic. Like they try to make it somewhat not historically accurate, but you know what I mean. Like it's historically like they've got a couple of things right. And the thing that I found super interesting about this trailer was the fact that compared to the first season, where it was mostly like, yes, it touched a little bit on the history of Vikings. It was more about like the fights and the main character and what he had to go through and battling it out. And I love the fact that the second season, you don't see that at all. Like, you do see some action, yes, but the fact that they showed like, oh, you know, they had settlements and they had to learn how to grow crops and do this and do that. That was interesting to me because they're touching up on, you know, other parts where it's not just action. It's like what these people actually had to do to belt it out during those, you know, those periods in time. And I find that really, really interesting. So I don't, you know, I'm not the type of, like, I do love you know, anime that has action and everything's like all explosive and the fight scenes or the choreography is amazing. I love that. I also love things that are like heavily political and like it's more about like the story than the fighting.
I see.
So that, you know, I've started getting into Gundam because Gundam is like, yeah, you have the awesome you know, mech battles, but you also have this political conflict, this political struggle, and I love that. And so there's another series, if you haven't checked it out, it's called Golden Kamuy, which is also sort of like they base it off of this historic point in time, and I love that. You know, because it's not all about the main character has like these crazy superpowers and it's him fighting all these other people and getting stronger.
Yeah, it's very realistic in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I want to say it's like a slice of life, but I think a historical anime sounds like that could be where it fits in, because there's no fantasy element, and even if you had a show about, I don't know, fencing, and there's people fencing, people would, or the boxing animes, people would consider that like fighting, but it's also a slice of life because it's real.
Yeah.
There's no fantasy element to it, you know.
Yeah,
so if you guys are into animes like that where you can get that realism, this is one you should definitely check out.
Yeah. So that's our reaction for today. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Tell us what you think down in the comments below. Are you super excited about Vinland Saga Season 2? Tell us what other reactions or you know, trailers we should check out if we haven't checked it out already. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We always appreciate your support. And hopefully you enjoyed this ride with us today. And hopefully you'll join us next time here in the passenger seat.